Okay, that was the beginning of Las Clases de Cha-Cha-Cha. Last last week we heard El Bodeguero, which was about the shopkeeper dancing around his vegetables and food products. This one here is about a Cha-Cha-Cha dance lesson. Anyway, welcome fellow Rotarians and guests to meeting number 5,295. Today we have 4 birthdays. Dr. Vic Corsilia is celebrating his 90th birthday today. Way to go, pal. I'm looking after you. Rochelle, he joined us in 2017 after he retired from his medical practice. Next, we have Rochelle, better known as Shelley McNamara. That's not her there. There she is. Rochelle Shelley joined us in 1988. Ron Zrake, who'll be coming up soon, right after we see here Chris Duke up above him. So Chris Duke is on the right and Ron is on the bottom. So happy birthday to all of you guys. Today is a momentous day for everyone. We've got a new member that we want to introduce, Danny Bongatti, which means good cats or good kittens, I guess. She's the executive director of Capital Club, replacing Gina Rodriguez, who replaced Bruce McKenzie. Her sponsor was the aforementioned Ron Zrake. So Danny, tell us in 3 minutes all about you.
Well, thank you, President Fernando, and hello, Rotarians. I'm thrilled to be among you, and certainly happy to join the Rotary. I'm a Santa Clara native, actually born right there in Santa Clara at the old Kaiser, and continue to spend my my life there. I have a wonderful 21-year-old daughter who goes to the school, University of Hawaii at Manoa. So when she went away to school, she went away to school. But my career in the Valley, it's really been based around hospitality. I've worked in the hospitality industry for about 20 plus years with the Bay Club Company. I came to Silicon Valley Capital Club March 1st. I became a general manager March 1st of 2020. So certainly was a tumultuous first year, but learned a lot and have really grown accustomed to learning, about my members and certainly about the community. I've always been a fan of supporting and contributing back to my community since I was in school, and the student body president, and certainly I was a PTA mom for a long time, but I did do a course through the city of Santa Clara called Santa Clara Leadership, and it really taught us the ins and outs of how a city works, and it really intrigued me, and I want to serve my community, whether it's Santa Clara or certainly San Jose in this interest with the Rotary. So I have my first Rotary assignment tomorrow morning at the Salvation Army volunteerism, so I'm thrilled about that, but they're looking very much forward to years to come to, like I said, be with the Rotarians and certainly support our community. So thank you for having me.
Hey, we were happy to have you and we're welcoming you. Are you taking people in now, serving anything up at the Capital Club?
Yes, we are. We are open at a 50% capacity. So we have the luxury of having a beautiful patio, 17 stories above our beautiful city here, but we're able to do indoor and outdoor dining and started to do private events again.
What was that addition that they made to the above the Capital Club,
There's a new tenant coming on the 18th floor. It's a little bit hush-hush, so we're not quite sure who that is at this point, but we're anxiously awaiting as construction continues.
I see. Well, welcome, and we're happy to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we've got a blue badge presentation. After a year as a red badger, one trades in that badge and is no longer a new member, as indicated by the red badge. So congratulations are in order, and we would ordinarily be giving you a standing ovation, but the best we can do now is give you a wave and say, good luck, well done. So Joseph Sanchez, he's with real estate company Keller Williams. He's a graduate of Santa Clara University. He was sponsored by Rod Diridon, our past president, and Joseph has joined our Rotary Climate Action Committee, which I guess you're going to be planting some trees this weekend. Is that right?
Yeah,
Joseph?
That's right. Absolutely.
Welcome to you, pal. Hope you enjoy your stay. As soon as we start that in person, you'll find out what a great club we really are, other than what you see here on the screen. Yeah. Now we've got Mauricio Cordova. First accent is on the first O. Cordova, he joined us in 2018. He is he was a chief operating officer with loaves and fishes. And he commutes from all the way near, I think, Sacramento or someplace over there, but he comes in faithfully and he is a faithful attendee at our club events. He's the gala co-chair along with Sarah Janigan, but he's going to be handling some video announcements today, something about me being blindfolded and tasting some food. So Mauricio, you ready?
I am, Fernando. Thank you
Take it away.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's doing great today. Yes, we're looking forward to our gala, Cinco de Mayo, Fiesta Rotaria. It's less than 2 weeks away now, and so please buy your tickets. There's still plenty available. We have gotten over 200 tickets sold already, so we're hoping that we get more. We can sit almost 270 people. It will be open for seating with some restrictions. We still got a few restrictions we got to follow. All that will be communicated. We're very, very excited. So, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 5 to 7 p.m. at History Park. And then May 7th at 7 p.m., we will have our wrap-up event via online. So we will have our auction that night and some fun videos and everything else to wrap up this great event. So we're looking forward to everybody attending both. There is no need to buy a ticket. If you want to just come in on May 7th and enjoy the show and bid, you don't need to buy a ticket for that. That is free for everybody that just wants to come in and participate that night. So do that. I want to thank Mezcal in downtown San Jose for being the caterer for our event. They've been great to work with. Adolfo, the owner, is awesome. He's a great Rotarian. He's a Red Badger this year. So thank you very much for Adolfo's support. And so with that much wait and me continue talking, I want to show you this great video of Fernando tasting all the awesome food we're going to have that day. He was very happy. That was, I think, the first time he's been out of his house since the pandemic started. And he was like a little kid on a candy store, I can tell you that. Please enjoy this. Thank you very much. And I'll see you guys in the gala in a couple of weeks. Thank you, Fernando. Take it away.
Manteca.
Fernando, Adolfo, I see you again.
¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal, hombre?
Bienvenido. Welcome.
I understand you're going to be doing the catering for the Rotary Club of San Jose's auction on the Cinco de Mayo, huh?
Yes, and we're excited about it, and we want to go to make sure you check some of the dishes and see what you think.
Oh, all right. Well,
Okay.
I'm all game for that. So
Let's go
bring
do
it
it.
on. Bring it on.
Perfect.
We're here at Mezcal Restaurant, and what our audience doesn't know is that we kept Fernando up 3 days and 3 nights drinking tequila, the best tequila in San Jose. Now we're going to see how good his taste buds really are.
Fernando, so I know you must be thirsty already before your food comes in. So I'm going to go to let you do the work today. So we kind of got short-handed, and I just want to walk you through how you can make a good margarita back home. Okay?
All right.
So you have your reposado tequila, you have your agave nectar, and we're using an organic agave nectar, and you use fresh squeezed lime juice. I have an orange, and I have a slice of lime. That's what you're using just for garnish. I have a glass, so this is what you have to have at home. That's what we're giving you. So you find a margarita glass in your house, you put salt if you want to, then you have ice. So now a lot of people don't have shakers, so the easy way to do is we grab this, then it's a mason jar. And what you're going to do is you put the ice, you put your ingredients, shake it, and serve it, and drink it.
I think
Very
I got
simple.
it. I think I got it. I feel like Julia Childs, hijo. And I'm a nice guy.
Tequila.
Tequila. Ajua. Agave nectar. The nectar of the gods comes right here. Agave. And then some lime juice. Por favor. And then, like they did in the coffee, agita la lata. All right, I should be okay. You know, I've been up for 3 nights, 3 days straight. And what I need is a little hair of the dog. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Jack, little garnish here. Maybe a squeeze of lime here for a little color. And then,
Okay, hold on. Just want to make sure I'm in compliance. Every time somebody comes to the restaurant, we got to check the ID, make sure they have, they're allowed to drink. Can I see your ID?
my
Your
ID.
driver license? You old enough to drink?
Well, let me see here. Hang on. You know, because of COVID, I couldn't go to get my license renewed.
Okay, so it has
So
to be
I
a valid
have
license.
here,
So.
I have here
Or they give you a
what
little
they
paper.
call a temporary driver license extension.
Okay, so he's okay.
And here's my license.
Okay,
And here's my
perfect.
extension.
Okay, so he said, I just want to make sure you're old enough to drink. That's all.
80 years old, but I feel like 90.
Okay, let me move this out of the way, and now you can enjoy the drink.
Finally.
Finally,
Finally. Well, let's see what it tastes like.
you made it, so better be good.
Wow. Wow. Makes me want to forget what I had last night or the night before.
Fernando, so I would like to make things easy for you, but it's not going to be that easy. So I'm about to blindfold you, and we're going to bring the dishes so you can taste each one and tell me what it is, okay? You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Now, be careful. Now you can taste it. Second plate. Be careful. I'm about to put the fork.
Okay, here you go. Man. That is
Isra,
good,
steak knife.
good stuff. This is a tortilla.
Put in the next plate next to you. Take out a little piece.
Oh, already ready to go?
Ready to go.
That is good stuff. You want me to tell you what I thought was number one?
Yes.
I think I said I thought it was fajitas.
No, you're on point number 2.
Number two. What did I think it was? Albóndigas?
Nope, you're right again.
Two? I'm 2 for 3? All right, I'll get the third one. It was fried chicken. 0 for 3? Oh, my mom's gonna kill me.
Okay, reveal. So, take off your mask.
Mole negro? That was the first one I had? This one was, that I thought was fajitas, and it's called green veggie enchiladas. Man, that was wonderful. And this one's called mole negro. Mole, that's famous for Oaxacan dishes. They're known for their mole. Mole. And this one is the California ribeye steak. I thought that was the fried chicken from Popeyes, but no. What do I know? All I know is that I deserve this tequila. It's what I know. Ah, man. Well, amigos, as you can see, you're in for a lot of fun if you come to the Fiesta de Gala Rotaria on the Cinco de Mayo. That's the gala festival that our Rotary Club has on May 5th coming up. It'll be out at History Park, San Jose, and I hope to see you there. Salud y provecho. Well, that was a lot of fun. Tongue in cheek, obviously. Our caterer, Adolfo Gomez, joined our Rotary Club, actually, and he's going to be catering this event on May 5th. He learned his skills, Danny Mongati, at the Capitol Club. He learned how to be a chef, how to run a business at the Capitol Club. And so now he has his restaurant right at the bottom of the building in which the Capitol Club is located and across the street. He's also the caterer for the Museum of Art Cafe, also across the street and next to the Capitol Club. So I hope all of you will get your tickets if you haven't gotten them already. You know, San Jose residents are notorious for being late in buying our tickets for any event, not just the Cinco de Mayo or anything else, but we tend to wait until the last minute. I'm not sure why that's so, but that's true, whether it's the opera, the symphony, or an art show or Cinco de Mayo event. So get your tickets, don't be shy, get out there and come on and join us. We're gonna have some fun. They'll have separate places so that people can have their own pods where they can sit, where they can be with their friends or with their families that have been vaccinated and are safe. And if you don't feel safe, you can go drive through and get your meal and then take your meal elsewhere. But for those of us who feel safe enough to stay there, and I think many of us who are of that certain age will be able to stay there and enjoy it. Now, let's see, I've got Rose Simmons. Rose Simmons joined us in 2014. She's a healthcare administrator. She spent 35 years with the American Cancer Society. And we are going to, there we go, that's her, smiling face. She's the chair of our Rota Care Committee. She's going to give us an update. Thanks a lot, Rose. Come on in.
Thank you, Fernando. You're a hard act to follow. Well, this is really an exciting day to share the update on the San Jose RotaCare Clinic. This evening, the clinic is opening up for inpatient visits for the first time since the clinic was closed by the pandemic, March 2020.
Excellent.
The clinic will be receiving patients by appointment and will only be open every other Wednesday. Based on county COVID guidelines, the clinic will have only 6 individuals at the clinic at a time. The clinic will also continue to offer free telehealth visits via phone and video, and they have 62 volunteers that are supporting the clinic. So what is RotaCare? RotaCare Bay Area is a nonprofit organization that provides free medical care to people with the greatest need and the least access to quality health care. Created by Rotarians 32 years ago, the medical clinic operates through the humanitarian efforts of volunteer physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and support staff. So what has the clinic been doing since March 2020? When COVID struck, the clinic immediately opened up to provide telehealth visits, which averaged about 30 visits per month. 52 volunteers were able to support the clinic. The clinic promoted their services through virtual outreach, websites, Facebook, health boards, and through community partners such as Community Health Partners, Valley Medical Center, and local clinics. They also received a PPP loan of over $8,000 and honored volunteers through the clinic's first newsletter. So what has Rotary's RotaCare Committee been doing since 2020? promoting clinic services through the network of our fellow Rotarians, recruiting volunteers for the clinic, participating in the Bay Area RotaCare Advisory Council meetings to review budget, clinic challenges, and needs, researching possible sources of funding for the clinic through foundations, other charities, and other Rotary clubs. The clinic just received a $2,500 donation from the Silicon Valley Rotary. We're also working with Bay Area Rotary CEO and staff to explore community resources for collaboration toward the expansion of the clinic. I'd like to share with you some quotes from a volunteer, a staff member, and a patient from the clinic. From a volunteer, I feel good about giving back to people I know who would rather not be here. From a staff member, RotaCare has a profound impact on the community. It is the safety net of safety nets, providing free care, keeping people working, keeping people thriving, keeping a healthy community and a better place for us to live. From a patient, I am thankful for RotaCare. You saved my life. These individuals really touched my heart. Thank you, San Jose Rotary, for supporting the clinic with your grants throughout the years. A big shout out and thank you to the restaurants who have donated dinners for clinic volunteers. Loaves and Fishes, Giorgio's, and Los Gatos Cafe are already signed up for this year. Cafes Stritch and Doubletree have provided food in the past, but will not be able to continue right now. Tomato Time, Aki's, and Palermo, we hope will return. Thank you, Rotary's RotaCare Committee, for all your ongoing support, including providing and purchasing dinners for the clinic volunteers. Fellow Rotarians, I invite you to join our committee as we continue to support and expand the services of this invaluable clinic in our community. Thank you.
Thanks, Rose. I'll try to get through the next few minutes here before we get our main event. Tomorrow is Earth Day, founded April 22nd, 1970 by Gaylord Nelson, former senator from Wisconsin, and according to Jeff Hare, Nelson was a 1939 graduate from San Jose State. So, wow. Events will be coordinated globally by earthday.com, involving over 1 billion people in more than 193 countries, demonstrating support for the environmental protection of our planet. Next, of course, is we've got this 3 Rotary committees that are going out this weekend to our City Forest Education Center to plant trees at Marshall Cottle Park in honor of Earth Day. And there are 30 trees that 30 slots, 30 slots available. So call our chair, Deanna Persai, and join them at noon. You can give her a phone call. She's listed in our directory. Marshall Cottle Park is named after the grandfather of the former owner, Walter Cottle Lester, who owned 300 acres in San Jose. Rather than sell the land and make millions in development, in 2003, Lester signed a grant deed formally transferring the property to Santa Clara County and the California Department of Parks and Recreation, with the condition that the land stay the way it was, preserved as farmland and open space with arching oaks and broad views of the surrounding mountains. So if you want to check it out, call Deanna Persai and see what you can do. Wednesday, April 28th, next week, is fine announcements for us. Tell us about your good news. How happy are you that you received all your vaccinations? How happy are you that you got a job promotion? How happy you are about having good health? Will you be seeing family and friends? Let us know, and at the same time, contribute to our foundation. Paul Harris is 153rd anniversary of his birth. It was on April 17th at age 39. As an attorney, he founded the Rotary Club in Chicago in 1905, so professionals could get together, exchange ideas. I don't know what I was doing at age 39, but I wasn't founding an international club like this one. Also, it's the 115th anniversary of San Francisco earthquake, which did a lot of damage in San Francisco as well as San Jose. So that gave the impetus for the founding of the Bank of America. All right, so now we've got Jeremy Harris, who's coming in to He's our professional musician. He's going to play a tune written by lyricist Johnny Mercer in 1938 and composed by Richard Whiting, who shortly before his death wrote this piece that Jeremy's going to play for us. So hit it, Jeremy. All right. Thank you, Jeremy. Hooray for Hollywood. That's obviously become the theme song for Tinseltown. And now we have someone also known as Karnak the Magician in other days and other times, who needs no introduction, so I'm not going to do it. Come on in. The Vice President of Bellarmine, Brian Adams, joined us in 2004, and he'll talk about the Oscars. Brian, are you there?
I am here. Thank you, Mr. President. Good to see you. How about a round of applause for Jeremy Harris? He's the best, isn't he? Fantastic. I really want to salute you, Jeremy, because it is downhill from here. I got to tell you, from Adam Schiff, Congressman Adam Schiff last week to me this week, that is the full spectrum of Rotary program. As I like to say, it's great for me to be back to take part in what is the least significant program of the year, but we like to have fun. I've been doing this now, if I did the math correctly, which is always questionable, I've been doing this Academy Award program with Rotary for the past 19 years. And yes, I started very young. The only year I haven't done it in that span was the year I was president. And we had Darren Franich, son of Skip Franich, a former president of the club, and his wife, Nancy. Darren works for Entertainment Weekly. So we thought the year I was there, it would be good to have somebody host the program who actually knew what he was talking about. So that was great. That was a good year. This year is going to be a little different because not only do I not have a podium to cling on to, but I won't be able to pause to hear the laughter because of the laughter that booms through the room at the Rotary Summit Center come to think of it, the silence I'm hearing today is going to be pretty much like when I do it from the Rotary Summit Center. So there's really no change. But at least you can be cozy. I hope you pop some popcorn. And we're going to talk about Oscars. There you see on the screen a depiction of the Academy Award, better known as the Oscars. The 93rd Academy Awards will be handed out this Sunday. The event starts at 5 o'clock on ABC. And during a ceremony, which, like most things during this year of COVID, has been long delayed. Traditionally, it happens earlier, February, March. But in the past, it's happened as late as May and even November, if you go through the history of the Academy Awards. But for the most part, this is a pretty late ceremony. Now, this year, 2020, for the film industry, and especially for theater owners, was disastrous, let's face it, and led to a paradigm shift in distribution, with a lot of studios releasing their films instead of theatrically, because there was no theaters open for many months, but they released them on streaming platforms. So that action has been a boon to the likes of Netflix and Disney Plus and HBO Max, but has been somewhat of a concern, obviously, to theater owners. I think the future of movie viewing for a lot of us is going to be a hybrid of at home and in theater for the foreseeable future until product availability and consumer confidence improve. I'm anxious to get back and see a movie in a theater, but I'm not rushing out to do that right now. And I think I'm not alone in that. But a lot of theaters who are open now are really being very careful and have protocols in place for everyone's safety. So one benefit, I think, of the at-home viewing for those who can afford the streaming platforms is that many folks actually saw this year's Oscar-nominated films and performers. That's not always the case. You've had little excuse now. You could just sit in your living room and watch them. Now, although I'm not a voting member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, I am a voting member of the Critics' Choice Association, used to be known as the Broadcast Film Critics Association, and it's the largest critics association in North America. Also, the association has historically been a good barometer of the honorees that go on to become Oscar winners. In fact, this year, the CCA nominated 19 of 20 performers that were eventually also nominated by the Academy. Now, the studios and the publicists and agents have for months now been campaigning to win the coveted Oscar statuette that is 13.5 inches tall and weighs 8.5 pounds. The film reel, if you look at the statue, the film reel upon which Oscar stands features 5 spokes, and that represents the 5 original branches of the Academy, those of being actors, directors, producers, technicians, and writers. The more than 9,300 voting members from each of the now 17 branches of the Academy vote to determine the nominees in their respective categories. So, for example, actors nominate actors, film editors nominate film editors, and so on. And all the voting members can select Best Picture nominees. The final ballot, which is all done online now, began April 15th. Voting for the final ballot began 5 days ago, or 6 days ago now, and closed just yesterday. Now, when I say that there have been campaigns done by the studios and publicists, etc., let me give you an example. And remember, this was the last week of voting. So just Monday, I received the Hollywood Reporter, which is a trade magazine. This is the cover of the Hollywood Reporter that was received this week, and it's basically a wrap around, which is promoting the film Promising Young Woman. Okay, so if you take this off, there's the actual cover, and of course the cover story is Minari. So inside we have more about Promising Young Woman. So you can imagine there was quite a few dollars dropped on that. Oh, and by the way, on the back, we've got the Trial of the Chicago 7 full-page ad, and then a 2-page spread for The Sound of Metal. Again, this is the business side of show business. Just yesterday, I received in the mail from the LA Times. They have a award season special called the Envelope. Again, look what it's promoting. It's promoting Promising Young Woman. So what they're trying to do is be top of mind as the Academy of Voters, Academy members cast their final ballots. Before we get to look at this year's nominees, I think it's worth mentioning some of the perceived Oscar snubs. Every year there's like, well, why didn't so-and-so receive a nomination? For example, The Trial of the Chicago 7 is among the most nominated contenders this year. And Aaron Sorkin received a screenplay nomination, but he did not receive a nomination for directing the film. Spike Lee was also snubbed for his helming of Da 5 Bloods, as was the most compelling performer in that film, I think, Delroy Lindo, ignored. And Regina King was passed over for her feature directorial debut for 5 Nights in Miami. One Night in Miami, it just seemed like 5 nights. And Paul Greengrass directed a beautiful and epic film called News of the World. And he was not nominated, nor was his film nominated, nor was the lead actor, Tom Hanks. All right, let's take a look at the nominees in the category Best Actress in a Leading Role. Viola Davis transformed herself to play the role of Ma Rainey in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. She had to add a few pounds for the role, and in doing so, she even had to put on extra padding to make her fill her out even more to play the character. She's received the Screen Actors or SAG Award, and historically, all but 7 of the previous 25 winners of the SAG Award went on to win an Oscar. Davis won an Oscar for the 2016 film Fences. Now, singer Andra Day makes her acting debut in a powerful performance as the legendary singer Billie Holiday in the film The United States versus Billie Holiday. Vanessa Kirby is riveting in the heartbreaking drama Pieces of a Woman, and Frances McDormand totally becomes her character in Nomadland. And Carey Mulligan is compelling and powerful and promising young woman, and she won the Critics' Choice Award. My money this year is on Frances McDormand to take Oscar home. She's the recipient of 2 previous Oscars for 1996's Fargo and 2017's 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. This year, she's also won a BAFTA Award. Now, the BAFTA is the British Academy of Film and Television Arts Award. It's kind of the British equivalent of the Oscar. And although she's been overshadowed by fellow nominees at other awards shows this season, I really think she's going to take it. And if you recall, we had 54, I believe, voting members of our club who cast ballots. And of those folks, 31% say that they agree Frances McDormand will win the Oscar. In second place in our balloting, with 24% of the vote, was Viola Davis. In the category Actor in a Leading Role, the nominees are first-time Oscar nominee Riz Ahmed in Sound of Metal, the late Chadwick Boseman, also a first-time Oscar nominee, in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Sir Anthony Hopkins as an elderly man experiencing the frustration of dementia in The Father, Gary Oldman, who won an Oscar for 2017's Darkest Hour, nominated this year for his role as screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz in Mank, and first-time Oscar nominee Stephen Yeun in Minari. Now, I'd like to see Anthony Hopkins win the Oscar this year. He took the somewhat of an upset, really. He took the top prize with the BAFTA award this year. I think it was maybe a foregone conclusion that Chadwick Boseman was going to win the BAFTA, but he did not. You may recall, of course, Hopkins won an Oscar for 1991's The Silence of the Lambs. But the odds-on favorite for the Oscar is Chadwick Boseman. He has posthumously received acting awards for this, which is his final screen role, from just about every other organization that handed out trophies this year, including from his peers of the Screen Actors Guild. It is a very strong performance. It's captivating, and given his untimely passing from colon cancer at the age of 43, of course, he's also the sentimental favorite. But that aside, regardless of the reason, it's really about the talent. It's about his performance. His co-star, Glenn Turman in Ma Rainey, has been quoted as saying this, the following, I quote, "His performance didn't have anything to do with the condition he was in. He was just that damn good, period." And I tend to agree with that for sure. Our voting Rotarians overwhelmingly predict Chadwick Boseman will receive the Oscar with 69% of the vote. The second, a very distant second place in our voting, was Anthony Hopkins. The category Actress in a Supporting Role includes relative newcomer and first-time Oscar nominee Maria Bakalova in the over-the-top comedy with the very long title. Now, most of you know it as Borat Subsequent Movie Film, but the entire title, are you sitting down, is Borat Subsequent Movie Film, Delivery of Prodigious Bribe to American Regime for Make Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan. There you go. I'll let you just digest that for a moment. Glenn Close earns her 8th Acting Academy Award nomination for her supporting role as the mother of Amy Adams' addicted character in Hillbilly Elegy. Olivia Colman, who won an Oscar for her role in the 2018 film The Favorite, holds her own against fellow nominee Anthony Hopkins in The Father. And first-time Oscar nominee Amanda Seyfried shines as Marion Davies in Mank. And Yoo Jung-un, another first-time Oscar nominee, is very convincing as the grandmother in Minari. I'd like to see Glenn Close receive the Oscar for her role in which she, the actress, totally disappeared into character. But it's likely to be Yoo Jung-un from Minari to receive the Oscar. She is cleaning up this season. It's amazing. She was the first Asian woman ever to win an individual SAG award in the film category for this role. And she was also awarded by BAFTA. And she seems as surprised as anyone, but it's just delightful to see her receive the attention that she's getting from her peers. Our fellow Rotarians agree and predict that she will earn the Oscar with 37% of the vote. Olivia Colman is, again, a distant second at 19%. All right, let's go to actor in a supporting role. The nominees are Sacha Baron Cohen as Jerry Rubin in The Trial of the Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya as Black Panther chairman Fred Hampton in Judas and the Black Messiah, first-time Oscar nominee Leslie Odom Jr. for his role as a singer and activist Sam Cooke in One Night in Miami, Paul Raci, also a first-time Oscar nominee as an addiction counselor in The Sound of Metal, and fellow Oscar nominee rookie Lakeith Stanfield as William O'Neill in Judas and the Black Messiah. So you've got two actors from the same film up for the same award, and sometimes that doesn't bode well. Sometimes they cancel each other out. In this case, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it comes down to Sacha Baron Cohen and Daniel Kaluuya, and I think that Daniel will take the Oscar. They both received their share of recognition, but I think Daniel will take it. He's a Critics' Choice winner. He also just received SAG and BAFTA awards. So members of our club agree that Daniel will take it with 35% of the vote. However, Sacha Baron Cohen is a very close second with 33% of our club's vote. Now, despite Academy rules that allow up to 10 films to be nominated in the category Best Picture, this year there are 8 nominated films. It's somewhat surprising to me that the Academy couldn't come up with a couple of more to round out the 10. They didn't find Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or News of the World or One Night in Miami worthy of that position, which, again, surprises me somewhat. All of the nominees in this category, I will say, are worthy of such recognition, and each in its own way reflects the human condition. They are moving, they are well-written, well-directed, and feature outstanding performances, all of them. I think this is one of the better years that we've seen, frankly. I think this category is a three-way race between Minari, Nomadland, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. Each of them are fact-based stories, and each are about the seeking of something. We like those films about something and films that we can relate to in some way. Minari, which features dialogue primarily in Korean, but is an American-made film, is the story of a Korean family that settles in Arkansas to pursue the American dream. Nomadland tells the story of groups of individuals, nomads, who are seeking peace and independence and seasonal work as they trek across the Western United States. Director Chloe Zhao beautifully intertwines professional actors with actual nomads to bring us a very raw and a real cinematic experience that is essentially a mix of narrative and documentary style. It won Best Picture at the BAFTA Awards. The Trial of the Chicago 7 is a story about the seeking of justice as it centers on the 1969 trial of 7 defendants charged by the federal government arising from protests at the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Some of us are old enough to remember that. The central figures of the film, or characters, if you will, in this case, include Abby Hoffman, Tom Hayden, and Jerry Rubin. Other Best Picture nominees include The Father, a heartbreaking and poignant story about the effects of dementia on an elderly man, played by Anthony Hopkins, and on his daughter, portrayed by Olivia Colman, both of whom are nominated for their roles, as I mentioned. Judas and the Black Messiah tells the story of Bill O'Neill and his infiltration of the Black Panther Party and the ascension of power by its chairman, Fred Hampton. Mank is a cinematically beautiful film. It's shot in black and white. It's very much in the style of Citizen Kane, which is by design, as its lead character is Herman J. Mankiewicz, or known as Mank, the writer of the screenplay for that Orson Welles epic. Mank tops the Oscar contenders this year, having received 10 nominations. Promising Young Woman, which I understand was filmed in just 23 days, follows the twists and turns in the life of a woman who's seeking revenge for the trauma that she experienced years earlier in her life. And The Sound of Metal deals with the hearing loss of a drummer who has been defined by his music. Now, you know what I like to do every year? I like to take the titles of the films and put them all together and see what we come up with in terms of what might be a summary of this type of film. So here's the deal. If we put all of these 8 nominated films together this year, we might come up with a narrative something along the lines of the following. A promising young woman, a follower of Judas and the Black Messiah, hears the sound of metal, and while ingesting only a diet of Minari, treks across Nomadland, seeking the father named Mank to join her in attending the trial of the Chicago 7. That would be one heck of a film, I'm telling you.
Man, that's great.
Now, my choice, and I hope that of the Academy, is Nomadland. With 43%, our voting Rotarians also predict the Best Picture Oscar will go to Nomadland. And coming in second at 24% of your votes was The Trial of the Chicago 7. And finally, let's look at the directing category. History was made this year in this category. This is the first time in Oscar history that 2 women were nominated in that category at the same time. Those are Chloe Zhao for Nomadland and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. Now, Zhao is also the first Chinese woman and the first woman of color to receive a directing nod. She won the Directors Guild of America's top prize as well as the BAFTA. Now think about it. She won the Directors Guild. So the directors are saying, yeah, you did a heck of a job. So that really bodes well for her for the Academy Awards. Other director nominees are Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round, David Fincher for Mank, and Lee Isaac Chung for Minari. I don't think many folks saw Another Round, and although film industry folks tend to embrace films about the film industry, such as Mank, my money is on Chloe Zhao for her unique, honest, and as I said, raw storytelling approach in Nomadland. Our fellow Rotarians also predict Chloe Zhao will win the category with 56% of the vote. David Fincher for Mank was second with 24%. Now I gotta tell you something about Thomas Vinterberg, who directed the Danish film Another Round, which deals with alcohol. Now, I always want to see and strive to see every nominated picture and performance. And I had not yet seen Another Round. Sometimes I get screeners in advance or whatever, or I see them on streaming. So just a couple of weeks ago, I went online to my streaming service and I rented Another Round to enjoy the film, to see why this Danish director was nominated for an Oscar, because I hadn't seen his work. So I rent the film and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and it's a 2-hour film, and I'm sitting there watching and I'm realizing I'm hearing it all in Danish and it's not subtitled. So I know that I messed up somewhere along the line, but I didn't want to go back and re-rent it. So I sat and watched a 2-hour film in Danish language and had no idea what was being said. I mean, literally, I had no idea. but I really enjoyed the experience because I got a sense of the direction and style choices. So I was able to focus on that and the performances rather than the dialogue. And of course, after the film, then I go back to the beginning and I said, well, of course, I just screwed up and didn't choose English subtitles. For my mind blocked that out entirely. But I suggest you try it sometime. It's one thing to hear the actual language and read the subtitles, but this was a whole different experience. So and I enjoyed it. It's a good film, and I understand now why he was nominated as director. All right, we've got a few minutes left. Maybe about 10 minutes, President Fernando-ish.
That's right. You want to have some smorgasbord?
I'd like to have a little movie trivia fun, and if I call on, I'm going to call on some folks randomly. A couple of folks have already let me know that they're in. They want to play, but others you may not know if I call on you. So if you're interested in playing, when I call on you, just be sure to unmute so we can hear you. And I'm going to pardon my back here for a second, but it is my best side. I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff. I get a bunch of swag from these studios, right? By the way, I'm not sure. I may hang on to this though. If you saw Ma Rainey, you know that she was all about. She insisted on having a Coca-Cola at her recording sessions, right? So we've got the Coke, right, and we've got the Ma Rainey on the label because Coke puts names. That's something, huh? All right, where's Mr. Sal Pizarro? Mr. Pizarro, are you handy?
I'm here, Mr. Adams.
All right, I've got something very special for you, and this is I know you're a huge James Bond film fan, right?
Yeah. So if I get this one wrong, I'm in trouble.
You are. If you get this wrong, you're not the biggest fan that I thought. All right, here we go. The Billie Eilish James Bond film theme song, "No Time to Die," became the first Grammy-winning song for visual media from an unreleased film. You with me?
Yes. Yep. I knew that part.
Are you with me? Okay. 2 James Bond film themes have won an Oscar. Name at least one of those themes or the film title.
I will give you them both. Skyfall by Adele.
Yes.
And Writing on the Wall by Sam Smith.
You are fantastic. What was the name of that film?
That film was Spectre, which was the last film, which came out in 2015.
A round of applause for Mr. Sal Pizarro right there. All right, now this is special, Sal. These are, I'm told, they're still hermetically sealed. These are Casino Royale chips in various denominations from the actual movie Casino Royale.
But I just heard my wife shout. She's thrilled at this.
Now, this is allegedly the case based on the Etsy description that I saw before I ordered them. But there you go.
As long as you're telling it to me, I believe it.
That's coming your way. That's coming your way. And by the way, I know you got a couple kids, so I'm going to also drop off for you. Over the Moon, there is a animated film that's nominated this year. And I've got an actual soundtrack LP and a book about that. So I'll throw that in. How does that sound?
Mia is excited about that movie, actually. So
very good. All right. Yeah. Thank you for playing, Sal. Very good. I'll get these to you. All right. Who's that? How about Charlie McCollum? He's quite the expert. Charlie, are you with me?
Yeah, but I always do so badly on this.
No, well,
because I clutch up, you make me nervous.
We are. Let's see. I'm going to give you. You'll know this one. Glenn Close earns her 8th Acting Academy Award nomination this year. 8 nomination. True or false? Despite having received 3 Emmys and 3 Tonys, she has not yet won an Oscar.
That would be true.
That would be absolutely true. Congratulations. Very good. All right. I'm going to give you, this seems right up your alley. This is from News of the World, a beautiful image from the set of the town there. Would you like that, Charlie?
I think that'd be great. Thank you, Brian.
There you go. That's suitable for framing. Heck, I might even frame it before I get it to you. There you go. All right, Charlie, thank you very much for playing. Round of applause for Charlie McCollum. Where's Stu Gans? Stu is always about the trivia. Mr. Gans?
I'm here. I was dozing off. I'm here.
Oh, wow. Good. That's good. I was expecting nothing less of you. All right, Stu, here's one for you. And I know you like caps, so there's a cap involved, a cap involved in this. Despite no Oscar love for Spike Lee's directing of Da 5 Bloods, he did receive the 2019 Best Adapted Screenplay Academy Award for what film that was also a Best Picture nominee that year?
Do your thing.
Do the right thing, you mean? No.
Do the right thing.
No.
Okay.
Anybody want to help?
Is that Spike Lee or Spike Jones? Spike Lee.
Wow, there's quite a difference.
Okay.
It's the Black Klansman. Black Klansman. Do you remember that film?
No.
With Adam Driver. Anyway, I'm going to send you Da 5 Bloods cap. How's that?
Oh, great.
You love caps. All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And, I think we have time for a couple more. Who's next? Is Gay Crawford? Gay told me she just saw a couple films like last night. Gay, are you with us?
I am.
Oh, you sound nervous.
I am.
Everyone's a winner. Even if you get it wrong, you're going to get a prize.
Okay.
And you said you saw Minari, and what else did you see recently?
Nomadland.
Did you like Nomadland?
It was okay.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
so sorry, but I
Again-
love the grandma in Minari. Oh my God, I can relate to that. She
Again,
swears.
everyone's a critic. Everyone's a critic, right?
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Which one can I give you? You'll like this one. You'll get this. Oscar nominee Sir Anthony Hopkins was the lead in a 1978 thriller in which he played a ventriloquist.
Silence of the Lambs. No.
No, please don't buzz in early. Don't buzz in.
Okay.
This is not
Ding.
Family Feud. That's a whole different game. He played a ventriloquist with an abrasive dummy. Don't say it, Stu. Who seemed to have a mind of its own. Name that film. And I'll give you a hint if you don't.
Yeah.
Not only was he a ventriloquist, he was a magician. Name that film. And it disappeared after some time.
Sal's giving me a hint. Magic?
Magic. Very good. Very good. Magic.
I cheated.
All right.
I
Just because you saw it recently, even though unfortunately you didn't like it, I'm giving you this little promotional map from Nomadland. It's actually a map of all the places the nomads roamed.
the Amazon.
Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have time for one more, Mr. President?
You do.
All right. Let's see. Well, Fernando, while we have you, how would you like to play around here?
Well, I haven't seen any movies at all, so I don't know if I.
We'll do one from not necessarily this year, right? You might actually like this.
While you're at it, do you know how Oscar got its name?
I do know how Oscar got his name. Yes, I've shared that. Unless you have a different version that I've heard. I've heard that.
I was going to ask you if you know who the model for that statuette was.
Well, the model I don't know, but I understand that at the time, the Academy's librarian said that the
secretary
that the trophy resembled her uncle Oscar.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. But it was modeled, and here's the zinger, modeled after a Mexican film maker and actor by the name of Emilio Fernandez. And this was back in the late 30s. He won 2 films, the Grand Prix at Cannes, and he also got the Golden Lion in Venice for the quality of his films. And he was the model for the statuette. I just thought I'd add that in because today we have the Fiesta de Gala Rotaria. Just throw it in.
I love it. It's perfect. All right, real quick, as we have to wrap up. In Oscar history, 2 posthumous acting awards have been bestowed on actors who had passed prior to the awards. Again, we may face that this year with Chadwick Boseman. Can you name at least one of those 2 actors? They received the Academy Award for their work after they had passed.
No,
Do you know?
no,
You know?
no.
Okay. One was Peter Finch, if you remember him from Network in 1976. He's the one who shouted, "I'm mad as
Take
hell."
it anymore.
That's right. And the other was Heath Ledger, who won supporting actor for The Dark Knight, 2008, The Dark Knight. All right.
Right.
Fernando, I'm going to pick something out appropriate for you, and we'll get it to you. It has been an absolute joy for me to be back with you all this year, and hopefully we'll be back together next year in person, and then that way you can actually throw things at me.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
miss you, pal. We
Yeah.
miss you, and I know that you can't stay for anything afterwards. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Rotarians. Like our favorite immigrant said, hasta la vista, Rotarians, and I'll see you next week. If you want to stay on later afterwards,
Thanks,
the
Brian.
rest of you are okay, but
Thanks, Brian.
Brian has to leave. Thank you, Brian.